Order. Mr Medic has the call with the question, please.
Thank you, President. My question is for the Minister for Agriculture. Extending Stage 3 restrictions thankfully means the opening of the Victorian duck shooting season cannot go ahead in its usual capacity. However, shooting can still occur on private land. With no clear cancellation of the season, there is concern shooters may now travel to each other's private properties, flouting travel restrictions and shooting birds in a way that cannot be monitored or policed. The 2013 Box Flat massacre on private wetland, right in the then Agricultural Minister's own electorate, is clear evidence shooters are more than willing to break the law. If restrictions are lifted before the season ends, it could bring shooters into regional areas for the final weeks of the season, against the requests from the people who live there and the medical professionals that care for them. Will the Minister make a definitive decision to completely cancel the totally non-essential 2020 duck shooting season in the interest of health and safety, as well as avoiding illegal behaviour on private land?
Minister.
Mr Medic for his question in relation to duck season and, of course, how things are operating in unprecedented times because of the pandemic. While hunting on your own property remains permissible, the Victorian Chief Health Officer has advised that to help the spread of disease, people must not leave home for recreational activities such as hunting or fishing. Professor Sutton has stated that Victorians must change their behaviour to change the course of the epidemic. That means that during these times, all recreational activities outside the home beyond basic exercise are not allowed. As I've said in my update to the House, these are unprecedented restrictions, but they will help save lives. You can't hunt for ducks on private land outside of the season without a special permit, which is generally for research purposes and the like. We announced changes to the 2020 duck season in February, including changes to the season length, opening weekend start times and the daily bag limit, and there have been no further modifications, Mr Medic.
Can I please call...
He's got a supplementary.
Sorry. Mr Medic was supplementary. That's who I'm calling.
Thank you. That's perfectly fine, President. Thank you very much. If the duck shooting season isn't cancelled, what police and other compliance resources will the government divert to ensure compliance with both game hunting regulations and Stage 3 restrictions when shooting does take place on private land?
Minister.
Thank you, President, and thank Mr Medic for his supplementary question. And in a normal duck season, about 50% of duck hunting occurs on private land. So the GMA are quite accustomed to ensuring that their enforcement practices cover hunting on private land. So I certainly expect the GMA to continue to enforce the hunting laws as they ordinarily do. But I'm not in a position to outline the GMA's operational planning and enforcement strategies in a public forum. That's a matter for them, and they work closely with Victoria Police in that regard. This year's season, I guess, Mr Medic, if you're wanting, I'll get some confirmation for you that just so you know that there's no capacity for us to just pick up the duck season and move it. So I just wanted to let you know, I thought you'd be interested in the close of duck season will not change. That is because it is the second Monday in June and regulations are set to reflect biological conditions, and it's all to do with the breeding and life cycle and things of ducks. So the end won't move.